The man's calm, confident tone sliced through the lingering tension in the air. "You don't like to smoke, right, Na-young?" he asked, his gaze flicking briefly toward her before turning toward the red-haired woman nearby. "Perhaps Miss So-young, was it? Perhaps Miss So-young can show me where I can smoke." The sudden shift caught both women off guard. So-young's eyes widened slightly, a small gasp escaping her lips, while Na-young stiffened beside him, clearly not expecting to be brushed aside so easily. A subtle smile curved on the man's lips as he looked towards So-young, his composure smooth and unbothered. Na-young, on the other hand, froze mid-motion, her hand tightening on his arm before she hesitated. Her expression faltered, confusion, disbelief, and a flicker of irritation crossed her face. Between them, So-young stood uncertain, caught between politeness and the surprise of being suddenly pulled into the moment. Na-young's voice trembled with disbelief as she stammered, "Pardon?" Her tone carried both offense and shock, as if she couldn't quite believe he had just dismissed her so casually in favor of another woman. So-young blinked, collecting herself as all eyes turned toward her. The man's voice, deep and smooth, followed again, steady and deliberate. "Do you mind, Miss So-young?" he asked, his expression unreadable. There was a moment's pause. Her heart thudded, though she quickly masked it with a calm expression, pretending the question didn't catch her off balance. Then, with a graceful tilt of her head and a faint, practiced smile, So-young replied, "Not at all. I was planning on leaving now anyway." Her voice was even, her words polite, but beneath that calm exterior lay something else, calculation. The air between the three of them felt heavier, charged with unspoken thoughts. Whatever game had just begun, it was clear that neither So-young nor the man intended to lose. The atmosphere turns heavy, filled with an uneasy silence. The three of them stand at the bottom of the stairs, Na-young, Sa-young, and the man in the suit. None of them speaking, yet their expressions reveal a mix of tension and awkwardness. The word silent hangs in the air like a weight, emphasizing the uncomfortable pause that follows the earlier exchange. Breaking the silence, the man smirks faintly and says, "Well then." His tone is calm, but edged with subtle amusement, as though he's aware of the discomfort lingering between them. He turns slightly, signaling that he's ready to move, maintaining his air of quiet authority and confidence. Sa-young begins to walk ahead, her composure graceful yet distant, as Na-young hesitates behind her. The younger woman clenches her hand nervously before following. The tension between them is palpable, neither daring to speak first as their footsteps echo softly across the marble floor. Suddenly, a sharp voice cuts through the air. "Hey!" someone calls out, breaking the fragile calm. At that moment, a hand shoots out, grabbing another's arm in a quick, almost desperate motion. The sudden contact makes both parties tense up, eyes wide with surprise. The grip tightens, firm and filled with urgency. The word grab flashes across the scene, capturing the shock of the moment. It's clear this isn't just a cat touch. Something unspoken is brewing beneath the surface, and this single action threatens to bring it all to light. Na-young's expression hardened, her eyes narrowing as she leaned in close. Her voice dropped to a low, venomous whisper that barely reached So-young's ears. "Don't you dare do anything with him." The words were sharp, filled with warning, the kind that cut deeper precisely because they were spoken quietly. So-young looked up at her, startled but silent. The tension between them thickened, almost visible in the air. Standing so close, Nayoung's posture radiated anger and possessiveness, while Soyoung's calm gaze hinted at something else. Quiet defiance, perhaps even pity. Soyoung's inner thoughts flickered coldly. Look at her, so anxious even though I haven't done anything. Her lips curved slightly, though her eyes remained unreadable. It must mean she feels insecure in her relationship with that man. The realization brought a faint sense of satisfaction, not from cruelty, but from understanding exactly where she stood. Lifting her chin slightly, Soyoung's voice was calm yet cutting as she replied, "As if I'll do anything. I'm not you." The words fell between them like a blade, elegant, restrained, but laced with undeniable venom. Nayoung's grip on her arm tightened for a brief second before she stepped back, the insult sinking in deeper than she wanted to admit. Nayoung's voice trembled, no longer whispering, but trembling with forced control. "I'm only holding back at you right now because Yen Hyuk-sir," she hissed. Then with one last glare, she added, "And don't even think about showing your face during tea time." Her tone dripped with authority, yet beneath it, there was a tremor of insecurity that Soyoung couldn't ignore. The atmosphere is tense and heavy. The scene opens with a glimpse of a gray armchair, cold, distant, and unwelcoming, much like the mood in the room. A voice breaks the silence, filled with bitterness and defiance. "Fine. It's not like I wanted to be here anyway." It's the kind of statement someone says to protect their pride, even though their clenched tone betrays a hint of hurt. The focus shifts to a woman with flowing pink hair, her expression composed, yet impatient. She's already halfway turned toward the door, unwilling to linger any longer. "Make up some excuse for the others for me," she says coolly. Then, almost as an afterthought, she adds, "Well, I don't want to keep the guests waiting, so I'll be going." Her tone is sharp, dismissive. She yanks her arm, pulling away from the other woman's grasp, signaling the end of the conversation. The sound effect yank cuts through the air, echoing the abruptness of her departure. The pink-haired woman strides forward with determination, her back straight, her face set in stone. Her movements are sharp, fueled by restrained emotion. Behind her, the other woman with short dark hair and a cream-colored blouse reaches out in shock. Her hand freezes midair as the distance between them grows. The scene captures a painful disconnect, one moving forward, the other left behind. Words unsaid, hanging heavy in the air. Now, only the dark-haired woman remains in the frame. The background turns a deep, shadowy violet, swallowing the brightness of the previous moment. The sound of her footsteps, step, echoes as she walks forward. Her expression hardens, her brows furrow, her eyes sharpen with anger and determination. Whatever she's feeling, it's no longer confusion, it's resolve. Something inside her has shifted. The focus lowers, showing her clenched fists at her sides. The shadows deepen, emphasizing her tense posture. Her delicate dress, once soft and elegant, now contrasts sharply with the steely emotion coursing through her. Her body trembles slightly, not with fear, but with barely contained frustration. She's made up her mind about something, and there's no turning back now. The soft glow of the afternoon sun spills across the courtyard, painting everything in shades of gold and amber. A woman with long, rose-colored hair steps down from the staircase, her movements calm yet deliberate. The gentle breeze brushes against her dark dress as she pauses for a moment, deep in thought. There's a quiet determination in the air, as if she's steeling herself before facing something inevitable. As she walks forward, she suddenly freezes. A tall man stands before her, dressed in a dark suit that perfectly complements his composed, distant demeanor. The sunlight filters through the trees behind him, casting a soft glow over his sharp features. He doesn't say a word, but his presence alone is enough to make her tense. Her eyes widen slightly in surprise, a bead of sweat forming at her temple. The air between them feels heavy, a silence filled with unspoken thoughts. The caption, "Stare," captures the weight of that gaze perfectly. She finally opens her mouth, her voice coming out small and hesitant. "Ah." It's a simple sound, barely more than a breath, but it carries the weight of recognition and unease. Her posture is slightly stiff, and her eyes dart nervously toward the man who remains unreadable, his expression as steady as ever. The tension lingers, fragile yet palpable. A forced smile spreads across her face, her teeth gritted behind a composed expression. Inside, she's clearly frustrated, her irritation slipping through despite her attempt to appear polite. "I could have smoked 2 cigarettes by now," she mutters through clenched teeth, her mind clearly annoyed at the wasted time. Her irritation is underscored by the little mark of anger drawn beside her temple, yet she manages to keep up the appearance of civility, trying hard not to let her annoyance show too much. Taking a deep breath, she regains her composure and straightens her posture. Her tone softens as she finally addresses him properly. "I'm sorry. Na-young held me up. Let me show you the way." Despite her lingering frustration, she puts on a courteous smile, determined to maintain her poise. The earlier irritation fades into the background, replaced by professional calm, although her eyes still hold a flicker of restrained emotion, betraying that her patience is running thin. The golden sunlight lingers softly across the courtyard as the two figures stand face to face. The woman, her rose-colored hair glinting in the light, looks up at the tall man before her. He stands with one hand casually in his pocket, exuding an air of quiet confidence and detachment. The distance between them feels both literal and emotional, a space filled with unsaid words and restrained curiosity. Though they face each other, neither seems ready to bridge that gap just yet. The camera shifts closer to the man. His expression remains unreadable, calm, composed, yet subtly intimidating. His eyes, sharp and observant, study her without giving anything away. The fading sunlight outlines his jaw and the edge of his suit, giving him an aura of quiet power. His stoic demeanor contrasts sharply with her nervousness, and it's clear he's someone not easily approached. The view moves to the garden ahead, warm light filtering through the thick green leaves. The gentle rustle of trees fills the silence as she gestures toward the spot ahead. "Here it is," she says simply. Her voice is polite but tinged with restraint. She's trying to stay composed, even though his cold presence makes it difficult to relax. The sunlight catches on the leaves, making the moment feel still and almost fragile. He doesn't respond right away. Instead, he flicks open a lighter with a sharp snap, the sound crisp in the quiet air. She starts to explain, "You can smoke here and the ashtray is..." But before she can finish, he cuts her off smoothly. This works. Thank you," he says, already holding a cigarette between his fingers. Her eyes widen slightly in surprise. His words are polite enough, but his tone is curt, distant, as if he's not really acknowledging her presence beyond convenience. She watches him light his cigarette, the flame reflecting in her eyes, as a flicker of irritation crosses her face. Her expression tightens, a frown forming as she mutters inwardly, "What's with his manners?" The warm glow of the lighter contrasts with the coldness of his behavior. As he exhales the first trail of smoke, she's left standing there, frustrated, confused, and silently questioning why she even bothered trying to be polite. The woman raises her head slightly, her expression composed but tinged with curiosity and unease. Her voice is calm, though there's an edge of tension beneath the surface as she finally breaks the silence. "Anyway, what did you want to say to me?" The sunlight glints off her earrings as her gaze meets his, searching his face for a hint of his intentions. The question hangs in the air, delicate and uncertain, like the stillness before a storm. She shifts slightly, her red hair rippling as she moves, the soft fabric of her dress swaying with the motion. Her fingers twitch in subtle anticipation, or maybe nervousness. It's clear that, despite her composed exterior, her heart isn't as steady. Something about this moment feels heavier than casual conversation, as though she's bracing herself for words she isn't ready to hear. The man lowers his cigarette slightly, his expression unreadable. His voice, calm but firm, cuts through the space between them. Forget the cigarette. There's something in his tone, not irritation, but resolute. He isn't talking about the cigarette anymore. It feels like a shift, the start of something unexpected, something that makes the air grow thick with tension. He reaches forward, fingers tightening slightly around the cigarette, as if to put an end to it, or to redirect the moment entirely. The motion is deliberate, smooth, controlled. The faint rustle of fabric, the quiet heartbeat of the moment, everything slows down as if time itself is waiting for what comes next. The golden light of the setting sun floods the scene, spilling over the garden and catching on the leaves that sway gently in the breeze. His next words come out low, yet every syllable lands with the weight of something shocking, something intimate. Why don't you have an affair with me? The word swoosh marks the faint stir of wind through the trees, echoing the way her thoughts scatter. The peaceful evening suddenly feels charged, fragile, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. Both of them stand still beneath the warm afternoon light. She looks up at him, eyes wide in disbelief, her lips parted as if words have caught in her throat. He remains composed, his tall frame casting a shadow over her. The world around them seems to fade. The leaves, the sun, the soft rustle of wind, all falling silent under the gravity of what he just said. The final words drift through the air, quieter now, but no less potent. Instead, the single word lingers, heavy with implication. The sunlight filters through the trees, creating soft circles of light across the ground, wrapping the scene in an almost dreamlike haze. Yet beneath that golden calm lies something undeniable, a spark that has just been lit, one that neither of them can easily extinguish.